first thing I want to talk about is what I like to call the 3 E's, which basically is the three key components on building your social platform as in any type of creative, whatever your niche is, whether it's photography or fitness or anything of that nature. The 3 E's is what you want to really hone in on. So people go on social media for one of three reasons. One is either to be educated, to feel an emotion, or to be entertained. So those three things you have to be very mindful when it comes to the content that you want to create. So if y'all know me as being an educator online and teaching people, beginners or first people getting into the game, on how to utilize their starter kit cameras and whatnot. That's what I chose to do, and there's ways to utilize that to get your brand deals. But also, if you want to stay in the more just creativity world, you can just stay in the entertainment field, which is a combination of using trends or trending audios, but with your creativity as well. So if you, let's say, like, you like to make short films or something of that nature, I would try to utilize what sounds are going up, what sounds just, you have to really do pay attention to the media, and what you consume is really important in developing your overall work. So I would definitely take some inspiration from whoever inspires you creatively, learn to make it your own way, but also pay attention to what is going up in the media and try to figure out a way to combine that trend with your style. And that's what's really gonna help you when you get into that entertainment world. As far as emotion, it's really just about being precise on what you want your audience to feel. If you want them to feel like, let's say, an example of an emotional video is like any type of motivation. Like if you see any videos or posts that's like motivating business mindsets, things like that, that is an emotional piece of content that's inspiring you and making you feel a way to do a certain task. So if you want to implement that into your creative content, I would be very, very precise on what emotion exactly you want to portray with that. I've seen a lot of people kind of make short little films, or they're just talking to the camera, or they just make like a relatable video that like portrays something that they know is going to strike a certain type of person. You should really be more focused on especially when you're trying to get it with clientels as well. I would be more focused on trying to build just 1,000 people. It's not really about building like 10,000, 100,000, a million. Really, you should just focus, and that's only when it comes to branding. Like, try to focus on just getting 1,000 people to really rock with you. But realistically, when you're making your videos, you should just think about you're talking to one individual that has no idea what you're talking about. Like, talk about it as if it's the most broad term, as if someone who's never, in this case, since we're all relatively in the media, photography and all that world, for the most of us, talking in a sense of like someone who's never picked up a camera before is one way to kind of broaden that terminology to where you can actually appeal to people who've just anyone, and not just an experienced photographer, but you can appeal to just the everyday person that just wants to take better pictures. Finding a way to like still hone in on your niche, but still figure out a way to make it broad to the general audience is really important. So those three things are gonna be key to when it comes to really optimizing, building your audience and targeting the type of audience that's really gonna rock with your stuff. So I definitely want y'all to, pay attention to all that. Do I have any questions so far just with that? What's up?
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody else can agree, but what would you say is the best tips as far as finding a niche, apart from like research and learning about other ones? How would you find what you're good at?
Finding your niche. Well, for me personally, it was about finding something that I just enjoyed. So for me, like, which I know is like a cliche type of thing, but it's really gonna benefit you in the long run, just because it's gonna be about trial and error, really, and just being open to experiencing things that you may not be so open to doing as of right now. I would just try to look at things from a different angle. For me, when I got into photography, it was just me taking a picture with my phone at the time, and I just enjoyed the feeling that I got when I took a picture that I thought was good. So from then on, I just was just shooting, and then I got a camera, and then once I felt like I wanted to show people, because I've watched countless videos. I still watch countless videos on learning about photography, and like I personally, for me, at least when I'm on Instagram or on TikTok or like these platforms that are now like taking over the globe, like they don't really share things that like would really just kind of help you get from A to B, and they'll kind of like dance around topics. So for me, like I just wanted to show something that like was like, this is what I did on how I got it to look like this. And a lot of people are kind of scared about revealing certain things, but in the end, like your mind is your mind. Like no one's gonna be able to replicate that. So as far as finding your niche, I would definitely rely on trial and error and being open to just trying new experiences that you find joy in. And the only way you're gonna do that is by literally just going out and trying that exact thing. There's no other way around it other than doing it like that. Does that kind of answer your question? I started in 2016, like on my phone. If you want to count when I got my camera, it was in late 2018. Yep. Do I got any other questions about that for the 3 E's? Cool. Okay, anything, I got you, man. I got you.
What are some people that you look up to or learn or study from?
Well, we're standing in the studio of one of them right now, man. When I started shooting here, it really opened my mind up to being just creative, and it gave me a whole different outlook. Me looking at Cam and what he's done for the city, culture-wise, photography-wise, like, it's really, really inspired me. Just walking up in this studio, like, inspired me. I was like, dang, like, I never seen a studio this aesthetic. Like, just little things kind of help inspire me to become a better artist. And since I was shooting with a Canon T6, which I still have, I still love to shoot with. Now, I'll move on to other cameras, but I still will always hold that T6 close to my heart because, yeah, oh, really? Man, that's what I'm saying. You could really do so much with that because it's really just about your own creativity. Some people kind of put too much focus in the equipment that they use, which of course is important depending on the aesthetic that you want to portray. But in the beginning, when you're just trying to create, you can do so much just off the knowledge and the strength of like trying out new things. You're gonna build so much off of that. And then once you go from that to an actual, more expensive quality camera, your work is just gonna go crazy. Like after that, you already have developed the skills that you need to do with what you had. So yeah, Cam Kirk was definitely a huge inspiration when it came to that. And as far as that, really, I looked up to photographers like Gunnar Stahl and Chi Mood and even Youngin with the Canon. They all like inspired me in terms of like whether it was finding my own style or just trying out something that was out of my comfort zone, So those photographers definitely helped me the most. But I think honestly shooting with that T6 is what really got me to use my weaknesses into strengths, because it's a camera that is looked down upon because the quality isn't as up to par to what's going on in the game now. Back then it was film and everything kind of looked a little blurry and grainy, and now it's like real crystal clear, and like these cameras are costing whatever. So now when you compare that camera to those cameras, it's one of those things where it can be discouraging, but realistically it should just be something that you should take as inspiration and motivation, so you could just, once you get far with that, that if you were to touch the same cameras that they were doing, you're gonna be unstoppable. Like, it's all about your mentality and all about being confident in your art, you know what I mean? Because everyone's gonna have something to say no matter what it is.